So we don't have to speak into the microphones or anything?
They're going to be picking their voices up, and Dane's going to make sure that the voices are clear and concise and no static.
So do I look at you or over there?
Both.
Yeah?
So we have TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, and through the Facebook one, you also have, it goes to YouTube, it goes to Rumble, it goes to
I've never heard of Rumble.
It's a podcast station.
Mm.
There's like 7 or 8 different outlets that it goes to. It goes to LinkedIn, it goes to it goes. I keep thinking Twitter, like whatever X, right? It goes to.
All right. So we're going to talk about my curling hair and then we're going to talk about
we
air quality.
We can talk here, absolutely. We're ready to go.
We're good to go.
Fronts. All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Team Powerhouse Show. It's live every Tuesday night. Unfortunately, Eric couldn't be here tonight. As you know, he always sits on your far right. Today, Eric couldn't be here. He's got to take care of some things with work, yada, yada, yada. I'm showing today a very special guest, a woman that I know very well, and she helped us out because we were supposed to have another guest feeling well. So thank you so much for the show. This is Melanie Miranda, the owner of Apex Radon Solutions, an amazing company. And if you've never heard of this company before, and you don't know what radon is, or think you know what it is, I will tell you it gets much deeper on many levels. You're going to learn about that. On TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. Please feel free to reach out to us. We'll do our best to answer them. If we miss your questions, when you put your questions out there, we'll have, first of all, Melanie and have her respond back, and I'll help out with that as well. So, Melanie, thank you so much for being here today.
Oh, you're welcome.
You are awesome. We know Melanie very well. She's a very qualified educational person when it comes to everything about your home. How about that? Like that. So today we're talking about their special company they own. It's called Powerhouse. And it's a well released with that. You're great staff that work for you. They're very knowledgeable. They're very friendly. Get back to you, get you the answer,
Yeah,
which is great.
Yeah.
It's a very well oiled machine. I say it to you because of how you it's fixed and taken care of. And it's not like you have to wait months to have a problem get fixed. If there's a problem, they're going to send a crew out there.
Yeah.
Is that fair? Reasonable?
Yeah.
All right. So, talk about radon. How is our sound quality over out there? Like on Facebook, your peers clearly know that you're because sometimes technical issues that happen. Best. As a sound pain. Anybody out there listening right now, or some kind of hello, please reach out to us. We'd love to have that happen to you. All right. So Melanie Miranda, Apex Radon Solutions. Let's talk about radon. Now, I'm not sure if you guys know what radon is. It's a natural gas that occurs all around us. It comes from the ground from where? How far deep?
Really deep. And it takes like many, many years to change form. So it starts off as uranium, and then it changes to radium, and then it goes to radon. So
it's a natural gas. It's the second leading cause of cancer next to smoking. Is that right?
Lung cancer.
Lung cancer.
That's perfect.
Lung cancer.
And it's the first in non-smokers. That's very, very perfect. Yeah.
So we need to make sure we understand what radon is. Now, it's all around you, wherever you are. If you work in a building, if you work in a house, if you work in wherever you are, it's outside when you're walking around. It's important to know what radon is. Don't be scared about it. Just understand how to make sure if you're in a place where you sit long periods of time, right, that you want to know that your radon levels are not over.
Well, we say action level 4.0 picocuries per liter, but we want it as low as it can possibly go. And that's our new, I didn't tell you, we're doing like a limbo kind of tagline. But there's a whole limbo rock song. Did you know that? I didn't know there was
a limbo radon
like
song?
All these lyrics.
Really?
No, we're gonna make it a radon song. Yeah. So we want it as low as possible. The EPA suggests action level under 4, and the World Health Organization is saying 2.7. So we try to get it as low as possible. But 4 was chosen because it's achievable.
Now, one of the things you need to know also, if you purchased a home and you've owned a home for maybe 1 or 2 or 3 or 5 or 10 years, whatever that amount is, it's important to continue to check on your home, especially in a couple of years, what the radon level is.
Yeah.
Because what's happening under the earth, we don't know, we don't see, and it changes our environment and what kind of radon levels you may have in your home.
Yeah, so I always use the example like in when they do blasting, they put like new shopping plazas or some or different things that can change the radon level, but also just putting addition on your home or changing the way that the house is structured could change the radon
A
levels.
landscape of your property, you add a pool, you add some kind of environmental things that change the flow of your house. That also creates water diversion and everything else. So many things happen when you change your structure of your home or your outside space. With radon, so action level 4.0, we as realtors, when we do an inspection, and we get the best inspection companies for you always, as you know, and they do an inspection in your home and they do a radon test in your home, and the level is 4 out of 5, we know we can go back to the seller, how many patients to put in. It's important not to, I don't know, you do it. Doesn't mean you do it. And the cost of the radon mitigation is something crazy.
Yeah, it's an average of like 1,500. But I will tell you that since October, there's been a couple sellers that say that the buyers didn't ask for anything else, so we're just going to put it in, even though it was 3.5 or 3.7.
And that's a smart idea because if you're in the high threes, because again, environment changes, right? So you can ask the question like, if there's a few homes and there's a rainy day, or a rainy day, and is that possible?
Yeah, pressure could have something to do with it. But also, like this time of year is like the really good time of year because it shows us like the more of a picture of what the overall for the year will be because we have our windows closed and we have our heating system on. So the heating system creates a stack effect, so it pulls from the it pulls up through the house, and so it pulls the radon up higher. So it would be more likely higher in the winter, and that's why it's a good time to.
That's a very
To
interesting
test.
point. So if you test in the winter and it's on the higher side, and let's just say 3, you can feel comfortable knowing it's probably the 2.5 mark, maybe just for example, I'm just guessing.
Yeah, we don't.
During
Yeah,
the we don't know
maybe.
what it
Who
is.
knows?
It
Yeah.
could be whatever. But the point is that it's typically higher in the winter when you're testing.
Yeah.
Would a seller be upset if because it's winter time and someone does an inspection, checks it out, and now it's 4.0? They might go, well, in the springtime it's probably 3. We don't know for
Well,
sure.
in a real estate transaction, it's such a short period of time, and that's why they chose 4.0
Yes.
because not because it's safe, but because it's it's a shorter amount of time and it's an achievable number to get to.
And it's
So,
also
yeah.
achievable number to be under,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
All right. So when is a good time to test? We just talked about that. So I have a couple of questions written down to prepare myself. Yes, Melanie over here. So how do we test for radon?
Well, there's a couple different ways to test. If you're a current homeowner and you want to test on your own, you can use a charcoal kit. You can get them. Um, I'm sure Dave could get you some. If you ask for Dave, he can definitely get you some. We can provide them for him. You can also order them on Amazon, Home Depot. And what that is a charcoal kit. It's the radon goes in, it collects the data. It sits there for about 48 hours and then it's sent into a third party lab and then you'll get the result at home about a week later.
Now, when you use, I'm going to sneeze.
I don't know.
I sneeze a lot too. When they use the charcoal thing, is there some kind of a sorry,
That's
sneeze
okay.
attached to it? Another addition. When I start sneezing, guys, I apologize in advance. I'm going to turn around over here. Sorry, lost my
Yeah, so
train.
they're not like charcoal kits are not common in a real estate transaction for a couple of reasons. And number one is we can't control them as much. We don't know like what's happening in the home.
Yeah.
And then the other is that we don't get the results quickly, right? So in a real estate transaction, we like to, so the other way to test would be there's also these like liquid, they look like little shampoo bottles.
Oh yeah.
And so they collect the data as well. And then we have continuous radon monitors. So the first two, when it goes to the lab, they're going to put them in the chamber and get the results. And then the third, the continuous monitor, what that does is it's calibrated yearly. So we actually send the machines to the lab and they put them in a chamber and they make sure that they're calibrated.
So that the machine will sit in the house for approximately
At least 48 hours, but it can sit longer, which is fine.
to 72 maybe?
It can sit a year.
Okay.
So the longer it sits, the more
Information
likely,
it shares.
the more information it shares, and the better average we get, right? So we know, but like the charcoal kit and the liquid scintillation, the two that we use are short term, and they can only sit for 72 hours, or they get like oversaturated, and they're not going to get.
So realistically, 48 hours, give or take a few, actually 48 hours plus.
Mhm.
And I know that the one that we said at the end that sits for a long period of time, that
The continuous monitor.
continuous monitor is accurate, I believe. Is that correct?
We found that we've put them side by side multiple times, and we found that they're very close to each other.
That's good. All right. So timeline we talked about, how to test it. What do we do if it's high?
So if it's high, like
We
the
run it
most,
screen. No, I'm kidding.
what's it?
We run it
Right?
screen.
Yeah, that's what my daughter says. She said she can smell it, like, and obviously she can't, but
You can't smell
you
radon.
cannot smell radon. But she says, "Oh my God, it's high," and then she runs.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, so the most common way to remedy it is to mitigate and use a depressurization. So the depressurization is making an access hole in the floor of the basement, or if it's a slab, we would do it in the slab. And then we dig out 2 to 10 gallons of dirt. We make a void underneath so that we can pull the air out from under the foundation. We put a pipe, and then the pipe is going to go to the outside of the house, vent above the roof line, and a fan is attached. So the pipe is going to have a fan attached to the outside, which is going to suction the air from under the foundation before it goes into the house.
Which is a pretty simple system, but very effective. And when you have the system in your house, you wouldn't even know you had it unless you're very close in your ear, very lightly. Very, very, very lightly. You would have to be like perfect silence, so close to it to even hear what's going on. And typically, you put it on the back of the house in the corner area, so it doesn't really draw attention. Unless sometimes they'll put it on the side of the house, depending where in the corner area of the house, depending on the house setup, yada yada yada. Great a way to do it, and sometimes you may need more than one system.
Yeah.
Depending on the house is.
Yeah.
Right,
And sometimes we can put
high the levels
multiple
are.
suction points, and we can attach them to one pipe. So we can have maybe up to 5 suction points and one pipe, and then one fan.
And that's typically a much larger home. Typically, let's just say 5,000 square feet plus would be a much different system than one that's going to be, let's say, 2,000 square feet.
Or it can also be the number. So if the radon's high, or if underneath the dirt's different. So we take a bunch of things into consideration.
And it's very common in areas of ledge where houses are built, right? Where you have to, not always, but commonly, higher levels of radon. There's a lot of kind of factors that play a role. Obviously, what's happening under our house, yada, yada,
Well,
yada.
you have to have uranium, right? And then and then it's just house to house. So you might have, if you drive down a street and you see lots of radon systems, doesn't mean your house is going to have radon.
It's a good possibility,
Right?
but not necessarily.
Yeah. So 1 in 4 houses have radon in Connecticut, but there's a lot of houses that don't have it, and it's like house to house. So I don't know. Yeah.
Now, you also do dehumidification. Now, I'm not sure if you guys know what dehumidification is. In my mind, I think a dehumidifier, right?
Yeah.
Let's talk more about that.
Well, so with the radon system, sometimes you have a dirt basement, right, or a dirt crawl space. So if the radon's high, then we would want to cover that dirt crawl space, right? We want to make sure we could put a liner. It's called encapsulating it. So we're going to cover it, and we're going so that the
it's like a vinyl of some sort.
Yeah, it's a poly. It's almost like a pool liner, right? And in Connecticut, there's different thicknesses that the state requires under the foundation. But that's like a whole nother discussion with new construction.
If someone had, typically those kind of homes and those kind of basements are homes built in the 1700s, 1800s, early 1900s.
Yep.
Most homes built in, let's say, after 1940 don't have typically a basement like that. But maybe you did an addition where there's now ground level showing, and that's true too. What happens, because we've seen that before. You guys showed us that situation Where like if you get to a house where they'll put in that vinyl because of where the new addition was, and it's kind of more dirt-ish,
Mhm.
and you'll see that in there that's protecting
Yeah,
the
but
rest
say
of the
like
home.
your bedroom's above the dirt, right?
Yes.
So
That's
I can
awkward.
think of one so I think of one like in Bethany, right? So when they did the home inspection, they tested for radon and they tested it in the bedroom because that was right above the crawl space. They didn't have like a full basement, and in the bedroom it was high. So what we did was we put you put the barrier over the dirt, and then you have to, the same as like with the foundation, or the floor of the basement, right? You need suction. So we make like we build it up a little, and then you put the pipe into the plastic, right? And then it pulls the air from under and then it takes it out of the house the same way.
Very cool stuff.
So I know you started talking about dehumidification, but
Yes.
a lot of times we have, especially this time of year, like when the snow's going to start thawing,
Mm-hmm.
you start to see wet basements. And
Whoa, wait, wet basements.
yeah.
We don't want to see those.
Yeah, no. Yeah, so you see like, or you're looking at a house and you start to see like in the corner there's like some water, or things are like moist, right? So you have some storage down there and it's not like, it's not dry like it should be. So we want the basement to be between 40 and 50% humidity. And so that's what a dehumidifier does. It'll take out the moisture from the air, and moisture could cause mold growth, mildew, allergens, like different things that can cause. So we're like looking at not just radon, but we're like, how can we make your house healthy, right? We're looking at the air through the whole house, not just radon. So with a dehumidifier, say you do have a crawl space and you don't have high radon levels, right? You could encapsulate it just to make it a cleaner surface. You can actually store stuff in that area now instead of like the dirt, right? And then, or if you have and then you can put a dehumidifier in there to keep the moisture levels lower.
Humidification, very important. Helps to reduce the level of radon.
Yep.
And also moisten your home, which also leads to, as you mentioned, storage and everything else, allergies. So we want to make sure we understand our home. Don't be worried about it, but educate yourself. The more education you have, the more protection you have, and the healthier environment you're going to have in the home. And it's also going to last longer, less problems.
Well, have you ever had somebody? So we had somebody call us last year. He started to have like a green growth, like that fur kind of stuff, like on the carpets and on the clothes, like in the basement, like the storage, right? So
that's when they call you freaking out.
Yeah, so he actually called freaking out, and so we were able to put a Sedona dehumidifier, right?
Okay.
So what happens is we put it has a condenser pump on it, so we can either what we did in this case was we took the hose and we put it through the foundation wall, so it always drains outside. You can also put it into the furnace, or you can put it into a sump pump pit.
Yeah.
And then so it was so crazy because as soon as we turned it on, the water started dripping. It was like instantaneous. I have a video.
That just shows how much moisture is in the air. That's insanity.
So as soon as we put it in, like 10 seconds later, it started drip, drip, and then it's like drip, 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 drip. Yeah.
It's amazing sometimes we can walk into a basement and not feel it, but sometimes you walk in the basement and it's still there.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes you walk in a basement and you're like, no, there's some serious moisture situations going on over here. And, ventilation is so important when it comes to your basement and how the airflow is coming in and out, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which is leading us into the whole air purification part of our show, right?
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk about air purification.
So
what is it?
Okay, so can I talk about dehumidifier?
Okay.
So I was just thinking, like, right now would be a great time, like this weekend would be when things are thawing. It's like go in your basement, see if you have like boxes and clutter and stuff like that could potentially get moist and wet, and that's what could leave with molds. Also, like attracts termites because they love to eat. They love to eat things that are moist, and so also radon decay clings to dust. So we have like all these different reasons to make sure there's less clutter, less dust, and things that are, you just chuck them all out.
Well, you just mentioned
that's what I did last
year. Absolutely, because you just mentioned about the whole moisture thing. You mentioned mentioned termites, so that opens a whole nother ball of wax.
Mhm.
You definitely don't want to introduce termites into your house
Yep.
accidentally, especially. You don't want to draw in like, oh, here's some food for you. Come over and visit. Because they don't come with one, they come with by the millions to your house. So once they're there, getting them out is not so easy until you medicate and yada, yada, yada.
Mhm.
The house for, that's a whole other conversation for another day. Because I know you don't
I have a
like
really
that.
cool cockroach story for another day too.
You want to go into it now?
Oh, I don't know.
Is this something that's going to kind of like freak out the listeners over here?
No, it's like really crazy because we have an apartment, and when I went in there, it looked like super clean when the people left, right? And there must have been like food behind the refrigerator and the stoves, and it was something else to get rid of.
They say getting rid of those kind of things is because once they find their way in,
Yeah.
there's not like a close. You have to literally like get rid of them.
You have to move a new tenant in to find it.
Yeah.
Because they like, so I went in there, right? And so there was like no sign, like not one sign, right? They asked me, my friend's uncle. I said, sure. And then they went in the apartment, it was like dust. There was like cockroaches everywhere. So in all stages of life. Yeah, so the pest control guy came, and then he 3 times, and then we went there after a couple of times, and I saw the third time there was still signs that this is really infested, right? And I started thinking, is that from the other apartments,
you burned the
right?
place
I'm
down?
like, because it from the other apartments, like maybe he said maybe, so he did an inspection of the other apartments just to make sure it was from that apartment. Now, the tenant in there, he was professionally clean twice, and before the guy moved over, it was something else. So maybe another spring cleaning idea is to get behind the computers and the stoves. Right?
Make sure when you spring clean it, get behind everything. Don't just clean what's in front of you. Clean.
He says they like the refrigerator coils too.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
No kidding.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised.
He said that he thinks because the refrigerator was on the other areas that go to.
Interesting. Great.
But I didn't know they're all different. I just pictured a certain look of a cockroach, but they're all different sizes because they're all different like stages. So I learned a lot, and they're not easy to kill.
A fire is probably the best way to get rid of them. I don't know.
I was like smashing them.
Yeah, that's the dangerous part. You step on one, now you get in your shoes, you drag it somewhere else. They're going to be somewhere else where you brought them.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe.
And I was told once that you step on, God forbid, on a cockroach and they're pregnant, you just opened up a whole.
Oh my god!
Now they go and where you're bringing them to the rest of the. Yeah, exactly. On that note, we're going to skip Apex Radon Solutions. Going back to it,
There was a little bit of a rabbit hole, but that was kind of fun, right?
What was that movie? Is it Weatherman with the guy?
Yeah, I don't know.
All right, so Apex Radon Solutions. Go. So radon and air purification. These are things that you want to know about your home. So, what is air purification?
Well, it's just cleaning the air, right? So we have air is constantly coming through your house, and you want to. First of all, it's really awesome if you can stop it where it's coming from, right? So, like for example, like right, we have a UVC light. UVC. So what it does is we make a little access and we put it above the coil. So it'll constantly clean and condition the coil. So when the air is coming through the house, it's coming through cleaner, right?
That's good.
And then before that, we have a filter. It's an electromagnetic filter, and it's going to and it's going to grab the particles like and even some. It's going to catch more of the finer particles before it goes into your heating system.
Anybody missing, having a question, any kind of questions at all? Zane, I'm not sure if anybody's out there on Instagram.
We had Bridget in the chat. She
from
said
Miranda,
cockroaches,
awesome.
yuck. She said it's always great to have level-headed and non-alarmist professionals on your side.
Absolutely, Bridget's a wonderful woman. She works for the Miranda team, Florida Post, home inspections. Is that okay? bring
Yeah,
her
sure.
up on conversation.
Mhm.
She's awesome people. She's a great networker too. Really good, really good. And
Yeah, so with the air purifier, so we want something that will help clean the air when it's already, say it's coming out of the vents, right?
yes.
So we have this air purifier. It's called an Aspen, and it's 35 pounds. It's aesthetically pleasing
Does
the
it
way
bark?
it looks.
Aspen, no.
Yeah, and so the air goes out through the thing, and then it'll come underneath it, and it goes through 3 different levels of filters: an allergen, microparticle, and a HEPA filter.
Interesting.
And then it goes and it like conditions the walls and cleans them.
Really?
It's a nice, yeah.
Now, is that the whole house, or is that in a room specifically?
It can do up to 1,500 square feet.
Oh,
So
wow.
you can move it around. It has a handle on top, so you can move it if you want.
So in a ranch house, it can be very convenient, or a raised ranch, a little
Yeah.
bit more movability for a colonial, but that's pretty cool stuff.
You can put it like maybe in the living room part, and it could grab like from the other areas. Some people put it like more towards the bedrooms. Like say you're going away for the weekend, or you're out for the day, you can put it towards the bedrooms and leave it on high.
Is this something that runs all year long, or is this?
Yes.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
No
yeah.
kidding. So all year long, you kind of playing around with it, moving around through the house, yada yada yada.
Yep. Or you can get multiple ones.
You could definitely have multiple,
Yeah,
which makes
so-
things
yeah.
a little easier.
Mhm.
We're going to get to more about those kind of things. Now, all these types of things, are they on your website?
Yes. Mhm.
And we want to make sure we have the website available to all of you out there. What is the website, please, for everybody, to make sure we know what it is?
It's Apex Radon Solutions with an S.com. Apex Radon Solutions.
APEX,
Yep.
Radon,
Radon.
RADON, Solutions, we know how to spell, right?
Yep.
With an
.com.
S.com.
Yep.
And when they go to the website, they're going to see you.
Yep.
Excellent.
Mhm.
And they're going to have categories where they can flip through and kind of ask
Yep.
questions, and
Mhm.
then there's a phone number to call somebody and ask for
Yes,
you.
and
or
they can
somebody.
also request a free radon test
Oh, really?
kit.
Free-
Yep.
Wow.
Mhm.
That's pretty cool.
Yep, and we'll get that to you.
Wow. Now, there's something called ERVs, which I'm just beginning to learn about.
Mhm.
What is an ERV? Do you know what an ERV is? Do you know what an ERV is? Do you know what an ERV is? I don't know what an ERV is. What is an ERV?
It's an energy recovery ventilator.
Energy recovery ventilator. Now, if Eric was here, would I test him out? Probably. Would he know a couple of things? Maybe. But I don't know about the ERV thing. Let's go ERV. So,
Yeah.
energy recovery ventilator.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
So we're seeing a lot more concern about indoor air quality, right? And also about the overall health and allergies. And if people are working from home more, we're more concerned about their pets, or they've had like health issues and they want to make sure. I mean, there's like a bazillion reasons why we could.
You just
go into
mentioned
this.
something that is very interesting. You
Mhm.
mentioned pets. Now,
Mhm.
a large majority of people have pets. We have one here with us in the studio, which we're actually going to be on the show right now if he's willing to.
You want to come over here, Ozzy?
His name is Ozzy,
Come.
like as in
Come.
Ozzy is a very cute little. What's it called again? Kind of dog?
He's having these. Come on. Come on.
Habanese. He's going to be the star of the show right now, and he's super friendly. He's super quiet because we forgot he's here.
Yeah.
This is Ozzy. So let's talk a little about Ozzy. Everybody say, "Aw, hey Ozzy."
Hey, Ozzy.
The star of the show right now. So when people have pets,
Mhm.
now, if your dog is hyperallergenic, it can be a nice, convenient, less shedding, like
Yeah,
Ozzy,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
No
Mhm.
shedding. But a lot of people have pets who are shed.
Yeah.
Your Dobermans, your German Shepherds, your anything with a short hair, right? Or anything with long hair, like a Labrador.
Or
I mean,
cats.
or
Or right.
we're gonna get
Ferrets.
cats, ferrets, gerbils. I mean,
I
who
don't know
knows
if
what you're
ferrets
into,
should.
what kind of animals you like. Oh,
There you
Ozzy.
go. You're okay.
All right. So, but you have different kind of pets
Mhm.
that create allergens and also odor.
Mhm.
And these things you have here will help dissipate that odor.
Yeah.
Right. So,
Well, especially the air purifier.
so I'm going to talk about leading into, you want to sell your house and you have pets. And when we walk in to your home, now we love animals, but our job is to make sure you understand as a seller, not everybody likes animals, but more importantly, they have allergies.
Mm-hmm.
And if someone walks in your house, I'm going to use the
Absolutely.
cat category for a second,
Mhm.
because more people are allergic to cats than dogs, generally speaking. And if you have a cat and it's something where it sheds, right?
Mhm.
You could walk in 3 seconds, someone will walk right out, or not even look at your house because of the allergy situation.
Yeah,
So,
very true.
if you have a system set up where the dander and the purification, humidification, all the things are being done to your house, it's very possible that someone walks to your house doesn't even know you have a cat or an animal that has this kind of
That's
dander,
very true.
to not want to buy your house because of the fear. And if you have carpets in your house versus wood floors, those things also absorb more dander, and you're typically going to have even more of a need. And those machines are going to work even harder and may almost not be able to get all of it out because of what's being absorbed into a carpet, as opposed to wood floors, where a lot of people who have allergies will say, I need a house with wood floors because I don't want to have as much of the concern for dander or pets, smell, and yada, yada, yada.
Yeah.
Um,
One of the things that air purify is good for as well is also new construction. People are like getting sicker with like the VOCs and the fact that the houses are very closed and they're not breathing.
let's talk
like
about
an
the
older
word
house.
VOC, what VOC stands for everybody, please.
Volatile organic compounds that I
Okay.
knew.
Yes. That's a good thing you knew because I didn't know the answer to the question.
Yeah, so a lot of things that like cause a reaction, or they're just like a lot of people say like I don't feel good since I moved into my house.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's because I went to a house one time and the husband said my wife's home, we have babies, and nobody's feeling well, and just that I walked in the middle of the day and the curtains are closed, so you need to have sunlight come in.
Absolutely.
Not necessarily the windows open, but the house needs sunlight, or
It's a very interesting point you just brought up. We walk into sometimes people's homes, and especially in the wintertime, right? So windows are pulled shut because it lets cold, especially if you have poor windows. Shades are down, windows are closed, less lights in the room, more smells in the house, right?
Yeah.
You're not opening your windows as often, if at all, in the wintertime, so therefore it's more stuffy in the house with the heat. Now, depending if you have forced hot air versus baseboard, if you have forced hot air, it's even more stuffy in your house. So you have this dirty air kind of blowing around. Now, you as a homeowner may be used to that smell, and we would hate that you have a smell in your house because, like, doesn't sound nice. But reality is, anybody who walks into your house smells it.
Yeah.
Do they tell you that they smell it? Do they not? I know that I've walked into people's homes and immediately smelled something and thinking to myself, how did they not smell it? And people say, well, they're used to it. And that just is bananas to me because I'm now walking around going, oh my God, I can't breathe. It's awful in here. And now I got to think about how am I going to function, right, through this process. And it's you feel bad because you don't want to insult somebody, but these are things that you need to recognize as a homeowner if you have pets.
So how would you say that to somebody as a real estate agent?
So to be honest with you, I'm a very straightforward, no pull punches. I tell exactly how it is, and I say, listen, I'm going to say something to you that may not sound nice, but I need you to know it because you're looking to sell your house. You have pets, and your home smells like pets. And there's two things that people will stop considering buying your house. It's smoke, smoker, or pet smell, especially cat smell, because of the fact that that is very difficult to get the smell out, especially if you're not using a great, I'll call it, compound of items here, right, that help get that out of your house. Most people have pets, whether they're small little doggies or big doggies, they smell. And how often do people really wash their pets? Like, I know that our dog's being washed twice a month, okay?
Yeah.
And that is not normal for most people. That may sound like it's crazy. True Love Pet Care, by the way. Great girl. Kelly, awesome. And so my point is, if you're not washing your pet often, they carry smells from outside. They bring it inside. You don't smell it, but it builds upon their hairs, right? And then smell is created in the house. Not to mention body odor and shoes that are in the house and everything. Yeah. So you've got these smells. So this system you have going on here helps eliminate the smell, the dander, yada, yada, yada. And it will also help you sell your house. Or if you own a home and you're not selling your house.
Your friends don't want to come visit.
If your friends aren't come to visit very often, it might be because of a smell that's in your house that you don't smell, and they're uncomfortable saying it to you.
Yeah.
Again, I've got friends with cats. One of my closest friends' cats, and It's difficult because I want to go to his house. I want to hang out with him. I love the guy. He's a great guy, but I can't breathe when I go there, and I'm like, I'm sneezing.
Mhm.
And I sell homes with cats in it, right? So I tell people, listen, sometimes I'll walk into a house and you wouldn't even know a cat exists in this house. And then sometimes you walk into a house and they have one cat, and if they've ever peed in the house, that's like the ultimate worst thing can happen, right, on the floors. But some cats, I don't know, they call it spraying versus not spraying, and you feel bad because now I got to about it, yada yada yada. And this is a great model for people to understand. So my point is going back and number one. Number two, you need to know that with the environment around us, the weather conditions, and everything that's going on, it's important to have a very healthy environment for your house, especially with kids. Kids get sick so often. We would say commonly that they happen to get it from school or daycare.
Mhm.
It could be just because of the house they live in, and because of the outside environment, they're sick more often. So it's a good time to really call Apex Radon Solutions.
Mhm.
Maybe have your house tested for these
Mhm.
in the air, right? And different pathogens that you may. Great time to call Apex Radon Solutions. So you guys really do offer a lot more than just radon.
Yeah, yeah.
Very cool stuff.
Yeah, and the ERV is a good way to, like, if you have your radon low but you want it a little lower, it might be
Yes.
a way to introduce fresh air in and pull it out. Or if it's like an area where there's not a lot of ventilation, it's a good way to. But depressurization is usually always the first.
So, oh my God, how cute is this dog?
he likes to go to work and hang out all day.
Is he? Can you see him on camera? Is he like full facial scut? Is it? Can the people on Instagram see him? Facebook, I know that TikTok can see him. Instagram and Facebook can definitely see him for sure, which means YouTube and everything else. He's pretty chill. How much pot does this dog smoke? No edibles. He's so chill.
He's just ready to. He'll just hang out, and then he'll in a little while he'll be like, "All right, let's go."
Let's
And
go
then
run
starts to
around
nudge
outside.
me. Yeah. And he goes like crazy and has fun.
Does he do like? Does he get the what's it called?
Zoomies?
The zoomies. Yeah, he does get the zoomies.
Yeah, in the morning especially. Yeah.
That's awesome. Does he do the zoomies?
Yeah.
He's like,
He loves to go to the park and dogs.
my father was here last year. His kazoo. Dogs, definitely. He loves. He's big. All right. So, Apex Reddit Solutions. If you have any questions, please reach out to Apex. The phone number for Apex Reddit Solutions again, please.
03-747-1808.
That is 203-747-1808. Oh, good to know. You can also text that number. Go to the website, apexradonsolutions.com.
Mm-hmm.
They've got a great. Who would be the person that's the phone usually at Apex?
Marcia answers the phone.
Okay.
And, she's our sales solution specialist, and she'll come out to your house and do a little inspection with you, and then talk to you about your concerns and see
and
what's
share
going
with
on.
you information that you may not want to know about or need to know about because that's what she does.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. We go to the next part of our show where we give a free tumbler out. That was a great show. Melanie, you're awesome. Tremendous information over here. Who's got a free tumbler? Actually,
yeah.
This is the newest tumbler. Yeah. This is the new tumbler. This one is being presented to you in pink. The great company will get them on the show also, by the way, who did these tumblers. But a tumbler, laser engraved.
And it has the QR
They can actually see if they would do the QR code up close. I wonder if they could actually get that on the screen.
I wouldn't be able to click on it because it's not their camera. But
Gotcha.
Yeah. But this is really, really nice.
So who's the lucky winner of a tumbler? If you want to have the opportunity, you've got to let us know. You got to send us your contact information, please. You got to get us your email. You got to get us your name and your phone number, please. Because in the past, people haven't, so we don't have that information, which makes it more difficult for us to get you the tumbler. We're going to make it easy for all of us. All right, Vane, talk to me. What's going on over there?
we are soon. You guys aren't gonna be able to hear it. It's on headphones. We got Laura Wiggins off TikTok.
Look, all I'm wishing for TikTok for wings out there. It's phenomenal. You put maybe alcoholic beverages in there. You want to put just regular water. I can't tell you what Melanie's drinking right now, but I'll tell you for sure that it makes it stay fresh for a long time. Thank you guys for being a part of our show. We appreciate you every week. Next week will be another amazing show. But Melanie, Miranda, Apex Red Hot Solutions, please tell Marco we said hello. All right.
Okay.
Have a wonderful week, everybody, and we will
Thank
see you
you.
next week. Hopefully with Eric.